Right then. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I have to wait because just for a minute or two, because although it says live on my end, I'm never sure when it goes live on your end. So I think it takes at least a few seconds to go, and I'm waiting for my phone to light up, and it hasn't lit up yet. So maybe we're not live yet. I'm not sure. Are we live yet, Chris? Actually,
We are live.
we are. Okay. All right then. So good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, that I know, and it is May the 13th or something, 14th or something like that. Is it?
May 13th, yes.
There we are. I was right the first time then. So it's May the 13th. And I've decided that as often as I can, you can see I'm sort of wearing flowers today. I've decided that all through the month of May, as often as I can, I'm going to wear flowers because after all, May is the month when the flowers start to be peeping through. The spring is coming. The daffodils have probably already been out, but the spring blossom in England, I know, is phenomenal. And I noticed that here in Florida, we've got the uh, all the blossoms are coming out on the trees, just beginning to peep out on the trees. The jacaranda is in full bloom. It's sort of like a purplish lilac-y color, and that's totally in full bloom. The jacaranda tree is just incredibly beautiful. What else is going on here? I think that's pretty much it for a minute anyway. So first of all, before we begin, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Grey Eagle, who as always is standing to my right side. And I would also like to say good morning to Chris. Chris, good morning to you, and where are you?
Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, everyone. I'm in Vermont. And we don't have the buds as much as you do down in Florida. We're still, in the 40s at night, and if we're lucky to reach 60 during the day, we're good.
Well, I know that probably in England, there are places that you can drive into, and as you're driving into the towns or the cities, there are apple blossoms and peach blossoms and pear blossoms, plum blossoms. There are, almond blossoms, which is probably one of my favourites. There are so many different uh, blossoms, and of course, we have the good old cherry blossom as well. And there are places that you can just at this time of year you can drive down an avenue, and just everywhere you look, it's blossoms upon blossoms upon blossoms, and it can be really really spectacular. There's a one of the towns which is in North Yorkshire, and it's called Harrogate. As you drive into Harrogate, literally the streets are lined as you're driving in. The street is just lined on both sides with the most amazing blossom trees that you've ever seen. It's worth just going to Harrogate, not for the shopping, not for the food particularly. It's just worth going just to see the blossom trees. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. So at this time of the year, I always think spring is coming. So I thought I'd put on my spring is here, flowers everywhere, little top for all of you, to remind us all how beautiful this world of ours can really, really be. So let me see. Chris, what are we doing today actually? Can you fill
Well,
me in? Good.
it is the spirit world sees all, so I would
Okay.
imagine whatever we do. But people are already responding, Rosemary, in the chat. Dean was saying the temperature was in the 20s for the last 6 nights in southwestern Wisconsin. Lots of blooms, though.
Oh no, oh no. Well, yeah, come to Florida. It is glorious here. We had rain last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I could hear the rain, sort of doing its thing, which will please my neighbor because she's been complaining that the grass is getting a bit brown. So, it's beautiful here. It's nice and warm. I was out very early this morning, tripping down my driveway it's garbage day today, everybody's. I'm sure you don't really care about that, do you? But I was tripping down early this morning and thinking just what a beautiful place it is. and how lovely and warm it is. But those beautiful breezes are just heavenly, heavenly, heavenly. And we all know, don't we, what this month is? All right. So let's remind everybody, Chris, again, we are celebrating the month of May. Um, it is the 25th anniversary of the first publication of The Eagle and the Rose, which means that I probably wrote it 30 years ago. I know, I know. I can hear you all. Stop, stop. I know what you're saying. Gosh, you don't look 30. Did you write it when you were a baby? Anyway, it is, sort of 25 years since the first publication of The Eagle and the Rose, and the publication date, official publication date of that book was the 19th of May, which will be now next Wednesday. So all of this, the rest of this week, for this next week coming up, and for all through May, we are doing something really, really special, very, very special every single day. We have a volunteer tomorrow. Oh my gosh, aren't you people brave? This lovely lady has volunteered to be a guinea pig for me, to do it publicly. That's something, right? And we have done, it's the exercise that we're going to be doing is called, I like to call it the bottom brick. We all build walls, don't we? We've all got walls of one kind or another. Some of our walls are higher than others. Some of our walls are thicker than others. But we all build walls that we hide behind for whatever reason, for whether we're shy or whether we feel sort of less than we should, or whether we have a low self-esteem, or whatever it is, we all build walls. And so this exercise that we did the first one publicly. I do it with my students all the time, but publicly we had Josephine, who we tried with her on Friday, and unfortunately the internet crashed. So we did it again on Monday. If you want to see that, if you want to check that out, please go to YouTube or to my Facebook page or wherever, and you can find out, you can watch it again. It's really quite fascinating, and Josephine was very, very brave. And so we're doing another one of those tomorrow with another, I almost said guinea pig, but I really meant volunteer. Another brave, brave woman who is going to come on the show with us tomorrow, and that's at 12 noon tomorrow. And so we're doing something every day. And
Actually, that's at 11, Rosemary.
Oh, I thought it was at 12. Oh, sorry. So correct me then. So it's so it's the same time as today then, right?
Yes.
So at 11 o'clock, I'm sorry, I thought it was noon for some reason. So 11 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be talking to who, Chris? Because I don't know anything about this lady yet. So
tomorrow's with Bridget, and she's very excited.
With Bridget. Okay, right. So we're doing that tomorrow with Bridget. So every day you can catch us, you can find out what we're up to and what we're doing. And if you go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com, there's a calendar there. Chris has very, very kindly made us a beautiful calendar, and you just click on the calendar and it will show you what we're doing every day. But other than what it shows you there, we will be popping in and out from time to time also. I'm excited about Sunday because, yes, I'm going to be making our celebratory dinner third course, which is the dessert. My grandson will be a little bit disappointed because I'm making creme patissiere, which is really just French for pastry cream. I'm going to be making pastry cream, and I'm going to be showing you what you can do with it. Don't tell me, don't make suggestions to me. And I'm so Reese will be disappointed because I'm not going to be making chocolate. I'm going to be making a very, very delicious pastry cream, which I'm going to fill with little phyllo pastry cases. And will I put a cherry on the top, or won't I put a cherry on the top? I might put a cherry on the top. These are the most delicious things you can make. They're one of those desserts that you pick it up. It's one mouthful. That's all it is. So you do that, and then, of course, they're so good. Then you pick another one. I've been known to eat 5 at a time, which is really disgraceful because I'd like to tell you they're not fattening, but they are. But they are so delicious. And if you have self-control, and just have one or two. You know, it's just a very nice and easy light dessert that I thought you might like to see me make. That's on Sunday. Oh gosh, that reminds me, I've got to get some sherry. I must put sherry on my grocery list. Anyway, right, Chris, enough of all of this. Who have we got? Am I talking to myself, or do we have anybody there? Is
Well,
there
you
anybody there with us today?
you may remember that today is Dean's birthday and he is listening.
Happy birthday to you, Dean. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, darling Dean. How old are you, I wonder? Are you going to tell me? Would you be honest about it? Happy birthday to you. There. Have a lovely day, Dean. I'm excited for you. Yes, that's right. I do remember now you've said it that your birthday is also in May. And, you know, it's my birthday next Wednesday. We will be doing something, I'm sure. Chris has got me doing something every day. We will be doing something on my birthday. We might even be doing 2 or 3 somethings on my birthday. You never know. Because I should be all by myself on my birthday. My friend and I are going out to dinner at night, but anyway, so I shall just be in your living room celebrating with all of you. So any one of you at any time, you can sing happy birthday to me if you feel like it. But more than my birthday this year is the 25th anniversary of the Eagle and the Rose. Da, 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 da. So we should do something special for that too. Maybe what I'll do, aside from now, see, Chris, now, see, I do this and I think about things. I think maybe we should do this or this, and then Chris picks it up and doesn't let me forget it. Maybe I should read a story from The Eagle and the Rose for all of you. Maybe I should read a story out for all of you. I'll pick one of my favourites. Yeah, that could be my birthday treat. Do you all fancy story time with Rosemary on my birthday day? Anyway, Chris.
Oh,
You know
you
what?
know what it made me think of, Rosemary?
What?
What if everyone took a snapshot of themselves holding their book, The Eagle and the Rose, and absolutely flooded your social media with it?
Oh, golly. Yeah, that would be, yeah, that, oh, can they be bothered to do it? I'm not sure I would be bothered to do it. Can you
That
all
would
be
be an
bothered to do
awesome
it?
birthday gift to you.
It would actually. That would be fun to see that. So, if you want me to read a story from the Eagle and the Rose next Wednesday, uh, make sure you know, give us a sign here. Uh, I don't know what to tell them to do, Chris. That's your department. So I'm handing over to you.
Okay, well, we are multinational again today. We have Junior from Scotland, Maria from Italy, Rhonda from Colorado, Sharon from Singapore. Danita is also in Florida. We know Dean's in Wisconsin. Deb is from Canada.
Wow.
Tracy didn't say. Serena's in San Diego. Um,
Goodness, you're all over the place, everybody.
we are. I love seeing that. It just makes the world so small, you
I
know?
know, I know. Just imagine we're going to go to Singapore for a moment when we say hi to Sharon. We're going to Scotland when we say hi to Junior. Where else are we going? I've forgotten where else we're going. But anyway, San Diego and Canada and all over the place. Isn't that great that we have people from all over the place, all over the world, in fact. And I think you mentioned something about we had people from India the other day, Chris.
Yeah, we do quite often.
Right. So, yes, we are multinational, everybody. Look at that. All right, Chris. Let's have some comments and some questions. And it's May. So, I want to hear, have you got anybody got anything great to say about May? Junior, are the daffodils coming out yet? I mean, or are they out and done already? I'm not sure.
Well, Deb says in Ontario, the grass is green and the daffodils are in full bloom.
Oh, great.
And then,
Love that.
where did that one go? Rhonda says tulips are in full bloom here in Colorado.
Right. Oh, oh, really? All right.
It's a gray May day in San Diego from Serena.
It's never a grey day in San Diego. San Diego's a beautiful, beautiful place. I love San Diego. I did consider actually going to live there at one point because the weather in San Diego is just very constant. It's a consistent, from what I remember. I can't imagine that you would have a grey day. It would, it'd only be grey for a minute and then the sun comes out, right? All right, keep going, Chris.
So this one came via the email, and it's from Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn.
How do people we send healing to receive healing if they don't know the time it's being sent? If so, why don't they need to be tuned in to receive healing? And if a good friend needs healing, but you know they aren't open to understanding about the spirit world, etc., can we still put them on our healing list without their permission?
Yes, because I think so. Because uh, you know, it's simply all we're doing is saying a prayer, sending out a prayer. It's a simple thought that we're sending out. We don't necessarily have to tell anyone our intentions are good, our intentions are prayer, but are for the best. And of course, we know the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but still, all we're doing when we're sending healing is we're sending our healing prayers, our healing energy. And if you say to somebody, "Can I do this for you?" and they say, "No, I don't want you to," then we have to respect that. Of course, we do. But I have lots and lots of people ask or request healing for somebody that they know, and there's no need to ask permission. I don't think of that individual because it it's just simply pure thoughts, pure prayer. Uh, when we send out prayers for the world, we can't say to every single person on the planet, "Is that okay with you?" So it's just a pure thought and a pure prayer that we're sending out. How do they get it if they don't know what time we're giving it? It's very simple because God's energy and God's love is surrounding us all the time, and we don't necessarily know about it. Sometimes, if we're in tune, we can feel it. And if you have somebody you're sending healing to who wants to be in tune with you and to absorb the healing as it's being given to them, then obviously it becomes a very powerful experience for you both. But very often we don't necessarily have the surnames of people. We certainly don't know where people live, so we just simply say to God, we've got whoever it is that we'd like to send healing to. We have to trust in God. We have to trust in the power of God. We have to trust in that God force. We know that God knows where our thoughts are intended and what our thoughts are. And we know, because we trust in God and we trust God to do the right thing, that when we're giving healing, when we're sending healing, we are doing the right thing. If we were not doing the right thing, then it simply wouldn't happen. It's a question of trusting. It's a question of having faith and trusting that God will watch over us, will make sure that we're doing the right thing, that He makes sure that our intentions are pure. He makes sure that our energy is good when we combine our energy with His. If our energy is at all in doubt or negative, He's going to discard it. So as we hope He would. So it's about faith and it's about trust. I used to say this all the time when I would go out into big gatherings, and I would say, hands up, those of you who have faith, and just about every hand would go up in the room, every hand. It's one thing to have faith, and it's another thing to live it. And living your faith is certainly not easy, because in those dark moments when your faith deserts you and you start panicking, you start worrying and wondering, and that's when we start praying our hardest to God, are you there? Please show us a sign, so on and so forth. When we are in our darkest moments is the time when our faith uh, trembles, and we become unsure and uncertain. And it's hard then in those moments to live our faith. I remember when my daughter was very ill and she was in the hospital. And, I know that people who knew me expected that I would go and sit next to her and give her healing and pray for her and ask for God's help and guidance and so on. But when you live your faith, it's different in a way. What I did with my child was, of course, I went and sat by her, and of course, I held her hand. Of course, I did. But then, as hard as it was, I had to have faith that whatever was needed here, God knew about it. At no point me asking, He knew better than I did what was needed here. So I just sat very quietly and had faith that God would uh, give my daughter what was necessary, whether I liked it or not. When we say a healing prayer, I always end my healing prayer with, Dear God, I will to thy will, which means basically I'm saying to God, I I don't know. I, I don't know what is best for this patient. I trust that you, God, you know. I will to your will. I'm giving it over to you. You decide because you know better than I do. So it's all about having that faith and that belief that God does hold us in His hand, and He will care for us tenderly and gently. And so when I sat next to my daughter, um, it was in some ways an easy thing to do, to let go and to let God. Not easy though, really. Keep going, Chris.
Sharon saying, Dear Rosemary, I'm worried about my dad's health. He has liver issues. During our consultation, my mom said health wise he's okay. Wondering if that is still the case. He's had a rough couple of weeks.
Sharon, he's his own worst enemy, don't you? So you have to get him to do what's necessary, and you have to, he. I mean, I've met your dad. He's lovely, um, but he's very stubborn, and so he just wants to keep doing the things he's always done. So obviously, that there, if if we don't pay attention to our bodies and we do things to our bodies that we shouldn't be doing, there are going to be consequences. So this is my giving him a rap on the knuckles and saying, you need to pay attention. So just be careful of his diet. Chris?
Tracy says, Rosemary, I would like to say a big thank you to you and Gray Eagle for the message I received on Saturday at the webinar.
Oh,
Although I was emotional, it has helped me so much to come to terms with my brother's sudden passing. Now I know he is happy. He would have been overjoyed at being in America with you, as this was his favorite country. And I live near Harrogate in Yorkshire. All the
oh,
flowers are blooming.
oh. Well, Tracy, let me tell you, I do have to say that when I heard your voice on our webinar when you were asking your question, and I don't even remember what your question was now, but when I heard your voice, and I've referred to you, it's funny really, but I refer to you as our little Tracy. Wasn't little Tracy lovely? I was saying to Chris, and I was saying to Mary Lou, my friend who was here throughout the webinar. And it was so lovely to hear your voice. And I knew you from the north somewhere because you did have that slight northern accent. And now you're telling me you live close to Harrogate. What a beautiful place it is. Isn't it just, is it a coincidence that I mentioned Harrogate this morning? No, of course it's not. There are no such things as coincidences. Is your brother somewhere over my shoulder poking at me? He thinks he's got an in now, Tracy. So he's probably trying to influence me. But I'm so thrilled that you had that message, and I'm so thrilled that it has made a difference to you. And it was when we give messages from the spirit world, it can be heartbreaking and heartrending, and people listen into those messages, and we hear all your personal stuff, and we when you put yourself forward like that, and you have a message, basically you're bearing your soul, and you're allowing all of these strangers to somehow witness the pain that you're in. But I have to say that I think every single person who was at that webinar, uh, they were right with you there, Tracy. And they were right with every single person who got a message. And even if they didn't get a message themselves, they were receiving a message in that they were receiving confirmation that, you know, that they are there, aren't they, Tracy? You can vouch for that, right? Your brother is definitely there and definitely with you. And I hope you've shared that experience with your family too. But it's amazing how, people share their pain. They allow us to witness their emotions, which is what you did, little Tracy. And and so we really thank you. I mean, yes, I'm so pleased that you joined the webinar, but thank you for allowing us to share your story too. Chris.
Cheryl's asking, were all souls created at the same time or various times? Where were we before coming to the earth plane?
Oh, well, if you read soul signs, that will give you some indication, not only of where we might have been, but how we are created. And there are souls being created, I think, continually, constantly. We're not all of us, all the souls who are ever created, all gathering up there, waiting for our turn to pop down here and have our turn at this life experience. A soul's being created all the time, and if you read, it's too long an explanation for this morning. But we are going to have, talking of webinars, we have talked about it in the past, and we are, sorry, I'm crossing my legs and jiggling about with the camera, sorry. We are going to have uh, a webinar, talking about soul signs, explaining how souls are created, and talking about which soul sign that you are. So, and how you can discover which soul sign you are. So we're going to be doing a webinar. We're not sure when yet, but we're going to be doing a webinar about that too. So if you're interested in sort of joining anything like that, if you email us, let us know what it is that you want to know. What kind of webinar would you like to experience? Of course, we are in a, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after. Every time I think about it, I get excited. We're going to be with Grey Eagle, and Grey Eagle speaks. Ooh, direct voice communication from Grey Eagle. Can you just imagine that? Just imagine that. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to have such a fun time. But that's on the 22nd. But anyway, so if you have an idea of a webinar, a subject that you would like to talk about, please, email Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com, and we shall see what we can do for you. So the issue of souls and the creation of souls, and different souls are created with different types of energies. A fascinating subject, which I describe in much more detail in our book, in my book, Grey Eagle's book, because he's the one who taught me all about it, in Soul Science. And when you read that book, you'll see the wisdom that is it's just such profound wisdom that Grey Eagle gives to us about how the soul is created and why we come to this earth, and how we are all a cluster of earth souls. We are an earth cluster, just like you get clusters of stars, star clusters all coming together. You get earth clusters as well. Fascinating, right? I'm not going to say anymore. I could keep going about that because it fascinates me, but I'm not going to keep going. Chris.
Serena wants to know, is there an audio version of The Eagle and the Rose?
Oh, there is, my darling. There is. And if you can call Chris, email Chris, we can send you one, or we can tell you where to get one. Absolutely. There are discs, and we were actually talking just yesterday about doing what is it called? An ebook, Chris.
Yes.
I had thought that there was an ebook, but we can't find it anywhere. If anyone's got an ebook or knows where to get it, let us know. If not, we are going to create an ebook of the Eagle and the Rose. But in the meantime, if you want it on disc, it will be my little voice. I hope you don't mind that. I shall be reading. I will be reading the Eagle and the Rose on disc for all of you. It's a great book. So anyway, Chris, go ahead.
I know that you've got the abridged audio on your Square site. So rosemaryaltea.square.site, S-I-T-E. I know you've got it on there so they can order.
That is, it's not abridged.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It is not an abridged version. It's the whole thing, I do believe. So can you give that again, Chris, so people can scribble it down and find it?
Yeah, rosemaryaltea.square.site. Rosemary has her books and CDs and other things on that site.
We have a little store. And if you just type that in, you go directly to the store and you'll see what we have. Okay, Chris.
Mark is saying hi from Los Angeles.
Hi, Mark from Los Angeles.
I'm
We know where you're
wondering
from.
I'm wondering about the appearance of Gray Eagle as he appears right now.
You mean to me? Do you mean to me? Of course you mean to me. Well, you can actually, this is interesting, right? This is very interesting. You can actually find him, and in fact, we have a picture of him. Do we still have a picture of him on Instagram? I'm not sure, Chris, because our Instagram went down and we've had to create a new one. His
Well,
picture was.
if they pop onto the Eventbrite for your webinars, for the May 22nd webinar, there's a picture of him right there.
Okay. However, I have to tell you, that's not how he looks to me, and he's chuckling now. He thinks this is really funny. This, the picture that we have was, years and years ago, when cameras first came out, and when sketch artists were everywhere. When the tribes got together with the American government got together with the Native Americans, and they had all these treaties set up and so on, and the natives would come into town to join the different discussions and sign the treaties and so on, and there would be lots of sketch artists about, and I think at the time they had the first camera too, so you've got some different depictions, and it really depends how on your view of things, doesn't it? It depends how you might see somebody, because I might say somebody's really fat, for instance, because I might be really skinny. Gone are those days, but I'm still skinny-ish. Anyway, but so you might say somebody's tall because you're short. So it's all about perception. When I see Grey Eagle, the thing that and he's making me laugh because I see him as really handsome. His face is a little bit longer than is depicted in the picture there, and not as dark, not quite as dark, but really very handsome. The thing about him which is most stunning are his eyes, because his eyes are, well, they're something else, really. They're almost alive, and well, they are, aren't they? But you know what I mean. And when he looks at you, he sort of he looks through you. He can see everything, and that might sound scary to some of you, but to me, I find it such a comfort. And this morning, I was talking to a friend of mine who is having some health issues, and this friend is a really good friend, and I love him to pieces. And Greg was standing by my side, so I was on the phone with this friend of mine, and we were talking about different things. And Greg said he sent my friend a message: "I have my hands on you," And when Grey Eagle says that to somebody, then you know you're in absolutely good hands, perfect hands. And for Grey Eagle to say that was just phenomenal. And my friend was extremely moved by just the idea of that. So Grey Eagle is very powerful, very, but yet in that power, there's such gentleness that is there. And when he says to me, your world needs gentleness, and I'm sure he'll be saying something similar to that when we have our webinar. We know that, don't we? We know our world needs gentleness, but when he says it and he means it, you somehow you have to listen and you have to pay attention, and you yourself become more gentle, and you yourself become much more aware of the things that you need to do to improve not just your own self, but to improve your small world around you. We can't affect the bigger world, but I'm a great believer in the fact that it takes one small voice to change the world, to rock the world. One small voice, that's all it takes. So if we can join our voices together, just imagine how much more we can rock the world. Chris.
Eric wants to know, with the droughts and fire issues in California,
Yes.
what can people do to help that situation?
Well, if during your meditations you can send out your prayers, during your healing you can send out healing to this earth of ours. You can pray for rain. If we all collectively prayed for, you know, whatever is needed there, and I'm a great believer in thought, and Gregor tells us that thought is the most positive and the most powerful thing that we have. When I say positive, I mean the most powerful. And when our thoughts are positive, and so one thought goes out into the universe and it travels through the universe and it touches that person or that situation that we're thinking of. And then that thought comes right back to us because it's energy that we're sending out and it's energy that we're receiving back. Now imagine if you've got 10 people in the room and they're all thinking that one same thought, how powerful that is when it goes out into the universe and it reaches that person or that situation, how powerful that is, and then comes back to us. If we've got 20 people in the room, if we've got 100 people in the room, if we've got 1,000 people in the room, collective thought is incredibly powerful. So, this is why we do our healing minute every day at 11 a.m. Wherever in the world you are, if you join with us, we call it Hands Around the World, our healing minute, Hands Around the World. We have that collective thought. So everybody is thinking the same thing at the same time. The power of that energy and the power of that thought goes out and can affect things. So if we could gather together a group of people, Eric, if you can gather together a group of people who are willing to do that at a certain moment in time to collectively send your thoughts out. Don't let those thoughts be scattered. Talk amongst yourselves before you do this. What is that one thought and how are you going to put it? When, if you let people, they think that and you think this, it's called scattered thought. And there's no power in scattered thought, or, well, there is, but not enough. Not enough. When we collectively have that one powerful thought, that one powerful thought can go out into the universe. So that's what we need to do. And maybe we can set a trend. We can join forces with, maybe 5 people, maybe 10 people. We can join forces on the internet. We can join forces when we do these shows. We can make those collective thoughts. It takes literally 1 minute. That's all it takes. You have that collective thought. You send it out there. You send that out for 1 minute, that one thought in that positive direction. Focus on that. It's powerful. Chris.
Fernanda says, Happy May to everyone.
Hi.
Rosemary, any news about jobs for me? Sending a virtual hug.
Oh, thank you, darling. No, but keep going, keep trying. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Serena's darling daughter Lily's birthday is on the 24th.
Oh, Well, yes, nice. How nice. I wonder how old Serena's darling daughter Lily will be.
Barb says, "Good morning, all. The question, I'll be joining you for Gray Eagle Speaks, and I'm so very excited. I believe I heard you say you wanted us to send in our questions prior as well.
Yes.
Am I correct?"
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because I never know what's going to happen. It's not up to me at all. There may be an opportunity. Grey Eagle may say, and now I'll take your questions. I don't know. Or he may just focus on the questions that we have for him. I don't know how it's going to be. So, in order to make sure that you do have a chance for a question, definitely you should send it in. Email Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com. And in the subject line, put Grey Eagle Speaks, and then we'll know exactly what it is that you're after. Don't, please don't bother anybody asking, when will I meet the love of my life? Well, when will my life be sorted out? Imagine that you are going to be sitting down with uh, a very highly evolved and wise entity. It's a little bit like, if Christ came into my living room now, the first thing I would ask him is probably to do with healing. I don't know, maybe. Um, or I might ask him something that something that I want his profound wisdom. So I'm not going to say to him, I'm not going to ask him, you know, um, inconsequential, or what might to the universe seem like inconsequential things. I'm going to look for his profound wisdom. Therefore, I'm looking to ask what I might consider to be a profound question. And this world of ours, it's very complex, it's very complicated, and you look to every country in the world has its own issues and its own problems. And so maybe it's something that you've been wondering about for a long time, or maybe it's something that has just occurred to you. Wow, I absolutely get an opportunity to speak to someone who has the wisdom of the universe in the palm of his hands. Wow, what question would I ask? Don't be intimidated by it. And don't think that because you send a question it's necessarily going to be answered, because it may be and it may not be. We shall have to wait and see. I am absolving all responsibility for this. This has nothing to do with me, because Grey Eagle, I'm going to move out and Grey Eagle is moving in. And when he moves in, he's in complete and absolute control. And I have no say. There's nothing that I can do about it. It's about faith, isn't it? Didn't we just mention that it's about faith and it's about trust? So I will absolutely move out, and I have absolute faith in him that he knows what he's doing, and he knows what it is that we all will need. And so I'm just excited to have this opportunity to be a tiny, tiny part of this. Chris.
I'm going to read two people's questions. So Rhonda is asking, or commenting, "I'm sending healing to my sister, my mom, and my son. I'm having a hard time with visualization, but I'm going to stick with it until I get it." And Junior's saying, "Is it true what you put out, you get back when you put out healing through your intent and positive thoughts?"
Yes, it is. It is, absolutely. So let's deal with the visualization. Stop trying so hard. If you're thinking it, that's all that matters. You don't have to see it. It's as long as it's within you, as long as it's within your energy, that's really fine. So don't work so hard at that. A lot of people are not ever able to visualize anything. As far as energy, okay, let's come back, Junior, to that little thing that I said before. I probably answered your question, right? So we send out our thoughts. Our thoughts are the most positive and the most powerful, but our actions are also. So whatever we think, whatever we do, whatever actions we take, um, they go out into the universe. Our energy goes out into the universe, and it reaches those people that we are uh, directing our thoughts towards, let's say, or our actions towards. So it reaches them. but it's our energy, and we can't just keep giving it out. We get depleted if we're not careful. But that energy, whether it is positive energy or whether it is negative energy, will at some point return to us. If you think about a thought as in a boomerang, we send it out, it goes out into the universe, at which point, remember, because it's energy, it's collecting energy along the way, and it's collecting, if it's positive thought, it's collecting positive energy along the way. It reaches its target. Now it's much more powerful than whatever it is that we send out, because it's collected like energy, like attracts like. So it's collected like energy along the way. It reaches that person, but because it's our energy, it returns to us like the boomerang. And at the same time, Junior, it's also collecting energy on its way back, which is powerful positive energy, which, yeah, we get it back tenfold. Likewise, with negative energy, when you send out negative energy into the universe, it does the same thing. But instead of having a positive response and reaction, it has a negative response and reaction. Those people are always looking at the glass is half empty. It will remain half empty. Your glass will remain half empty because you're sending out half empty negative energy into the universe, and consequently you're getting it back tenfold. So it's affecting you much more so than you actually think it is. So when we, as Junior said, when we send out stuff, is it true that we get it back tenfold? You betcha. So just be careful, everybody out there, to make sure that your thoughts are the most positive and the most powerful, and have faith and trust that God will, to take those thoughts and help them. Collective energy combined with God's energy will hit the target. It'll hit your target. It'll embrace your target. That energy will seep into that person, will just lift that person as much as possible, and then it's coming back. So make sure that if you're going to give out and give again, it's coming back. Make sure that you're not damaging yourself in any way. Make sure that your thoughts, as much as possible, are as positive and as powerful as they can be. Yes, Chris.
Lena says, love and light to you and your daughter, Rosemary. She wrote that about when you were telling the story.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember. Thank you. Well, she's doing really well now, and it's so funny because I reached out to somebody I knew many years ago, and we reached out on LinkedIn, and she wrote a really lovely, oh, how surprised to hear from you, and so on. She had a great experience with me at the time, and she said to me, are you still doing that thing you do? I said, yeah, I'm still doing it. So I reached back. And would you believe that now I have an 8-year-old grandson, because he was not even a little twinkle in my daughter's eye at the time. Would you believe I've now got an 8-year-old grandson? So see how time flies when you're having fun and you're doing so much stuff. And I like to think that the majority of what I do is very positive and very powerful, which is why I do have a very positive and a very powerful and a very happy life. When I get up from this sofa, having been sitting here solidly for an hour, you should have seen me on Saturday, 3 hours sitting solidly on a sofa. I was honestly like an old lady when I got up because I couldn't straighten my back. I'm oohing and ahhing, straightening my back. But I'm a great believer in being positive and just getting through it. And it only lasted a few minutes, and bingo, there I was again, back to my normal happy self. So I feel that if you strive to be a happy person, even when rotten stuff happens, even when you become sad about things that happen, if you strive to be the happiest and the most positive you can be, it certainly does come back to you. Yeah. Chris.
Deb says, my birthday is this 18th, and I'm longing to hear from my dad.
Who is this?
This is Deb.
Well, Deb, you never know what's going to happen, do you? Not today, maybe, but you never know what's going to happen. Put it out there to the universe. Give your dad a nudge. It's like you never know. And even as I'm saying it, Gregor is laughing, and I'm hearing a lovely man standing to my left side here who that was unexpected, because I was going to say to you, sorry, but it's not happening today. But apparently it is happening. Well, maybe it's not your dad that we're connecting with here. However, first of all, I have this lovely man standing next to me. I don't usually do this, but anyway, well, maybe I do sometimes. I'm just listening to him. I'm trying to pay attention to him. You're going to say, no, this isn't your dad, I think, because I think you won't understand when he's telling me that his passing was very nice, very quick, very easy. He did have issues beforehand, but he's positive because he tells me that it was an easy passing for him. And he's calling out to you and saying, I love you and happy birthday to both of us. So how nice is that? So he's wishing me a happy birthday as well. What was it? Your wish, your birthday wish? Did you just get that birthday wish, my lovely? I think so, because I'm hearing him saying, Dad says hello. Dad says hello. You are his beautiful child. You know that, right? Let's keep going, Chris.
All right. Betta says, the other night I couldn't sleep, and then I looked at the ceiling for a while in the dark. At one point, I saw how a small light with blue shades right toward me, and then it disappeared.
Oh, nice. And
That's all she
better.
wrote.
And we want to hear more. Okay, Chris, keep going.
Josephine says, love your relationship with God, Rosemary. You help to increase my faith that God knows what's best for my son with schizophrenia. I hope I can support his healing and coming out from behind his wall. Any advice?
Just keep doing what you're doing, because I think you're on the road to healing. And I think if you're on the road to healing, then that will help all of your family. You know, we lead by our examples, don't we? If you can show your son how you can come behind the wall, you give him permission to come behind his, and he will begin to talk to you, and healing will take place in a wonderful and amazing way. Chris.
Junior says, can you tell me if my older brother Cornelius is doing well in the spirit world? Because when he was passing on, he didn't want to see my dad. Can you tell me if my brother didn't want my dad to see him pass on?
Don't understand that last part. Can you read it to me again?
It seems to me the son didn't want to see the dad, and that they think the dad didn't want to see the son when the brother passed.
I'm asking Grey Eagle Jr. because I think we need more time than we have. So I'm asking Grey Eagle if he can shed any light on this. And we do need more time with this. From what I'm told, you when I say you, I'm talking about your family mostly, did have so many issues, let's put it that way. But I can tell you absolutely that they are together. But I can also tell you that I don't think it was an easy reunion, but I'm told that they're fine and together. So I wish we had more time. That's all I can give you for now, Junior, I'm afraid. But I hope that answers part of your question at least. Chris.
Julie says, I'm so glad that I found your book, You Own the Power, at Oxfam in Otley. What a great find. It led me to then get The Eagle in the Rose and then Proud Spirit.
All right.
I'm going back to read You Own the Power, as I believe I need to revisit. Thanks again.
Oh, Julie, you. Thank you. But my books turn up in all the weirdest places, don't they? Just that's so funny. Okay, keep going, Chris.
Danita says Emoto's studies proved the power of thought. Do you know who Emoto is?
I don't.
He did a
No.
book called Messages in Water, where he froze drops of water and
Oh,
certain thoughts were
that.
given.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yes, I've heard of that. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. I bet, Chris, you're going to as well, aren't you?
Oh, I actually saw him speak and I have his books. It's
Oh,
fascinating the photos that they have.
oh,
It's
really? Oh,
phenomenal.
we
Yeah.
should talk about that later then. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Okay, let's see.
Ooh.
Ellen says, "You're a beautiful person, Rosemary. Thank you
Oh, thank you.
for working together with this beautiful spirit."
You're very, very welcome. You really are. Thank you for saying that.
Sherry's saying, "I really enjoyed your webinar. I was so nervous. I was stumped to ask a question. Is it okay to ask a question that only he would know?" I'm assuming he means Gray Eagle.
Yes, you can. But here's what happens, when we do the webinars, and we've said we're going to be doing another one. We're going to be, doing from time to time other webinars. We already have one planned for I think it's the 26th
Yes,
of
June 26th.
June, where we should be, Grey Eagle and I will be giving messages from the spirit world again. So, those of you who didn't get a message get another opportunity to see if this might be your turn. But what was I going to say here? Because we only have so much time for each person, because we want to give as many messages as we can, although we do want those messages to be thorough also, and they are. So if you can give a little direction as to which area you're looking to go in, it's always helpful, because it's not easy, when we're trying to give messages, and we want to give as much within that message as we possibly can, and we want to give as much evidence and as much clarity to the message as we possibly can. But remember that it's about what the spirit world wants. It's not about what we want. It's, when our little Tracy got a message from her brother, for instance, it was not really about Tracy's question as much. It is, what did her brother want to say to her? That's my job. My job is the responsibility of listening to those in the spirit world and giving the messages that they would like to give. So it's not always about what we want. But I always say to everybody, we may not get what we want when we talk to the spirit world, but we always, without a doubt, get what we need, even though we might not know it at the time. Chris.
All right, we're coming right up to the noon hour. I'm going to give you one more.
Okay.
Sandy says, "I want to send out a great big thank you for extending yourself and sharing all this incredible knowledge with all of us without any expectation of returns. We are so blessed with your candle in this dark world. May your light return to
Wow.
you tenfold."
My goodness. And that was from Sandy.
Yes.
Sandy, thank you for that. But I must correct you. Um, you say there's no expectation of return, um, on my part, that I do this freely and all the rest of it, and how generous and loving and all that stuff. But here's the truth. The real truth is that, although I don't expect return, I get it tenfold. We already discussed it with Junior, didn't we? Whatever you put out there, you get back tenfold. And I feel that my role in this is, again, not for all of you, but my role is to connect with the spirit world, and I am their voice. First and foremost, I am their voice, but it is joyful. It is a joyful job for me, because being their voice means that I can touch so many of you out there and literally bring joy, hope, and inspiration to all of you. But in doing so, trust me, I get back tenfold. So, as much as I would like you all to think that I'm a very selfless person, I really, really get so much more, I think, than most other people do. And I think, Chris, you can say the same. Working for me, we get back so much more than we give out. So, all right. So, well, that's it. So, all right. So, watch for me tomorrow at the same time as this morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking to, I've forgotten her name again. We're going to be talking
Bridget.
to a lovely Bridget. We're going to be talking to Bridget, and I'm going to be showing you the exercise of the bottom brick. And poor Bridget is going to be at my mercy. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. We're probably going to be sometime today or tomorrow going to be definitely doing an off the cuff. So watch for that. It might be later today. We're also going to be back on Saturday morning for story time, and I haven't quite decided yet which story I'm going to tell, but I have an inkling that I might tell. They're all good stories, but again, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing story time, and at 12 noon, yes, wait for it, everybody, 12 noon on Sunday. It does make me smile because all of you out there are so interested in the spirit world. So I'm not quite sure how your interest switches to in the kitchen, but the spirit world is in my kitchen with me and talking to me and helping me. So really, in a way, I'm showing you, what it's like in the kitchen to be talking to my daddy, talking to my brother, talking to Grey Eagle, and sort of showing you how, connecting with them in the kitchen or in any other way that you want to connect with them. It's just a really easy and a simple thing to do. We're going to be making a pastry cream creme patissiere. Reese loves to say creme patissiere. She loves to say that. So we're going to be making pastry cream. We're going to show you what to do with it because this is our dessert. I might even also possibly, not promising, have another dessert for you. The only thing about this other dessert is it takes hours and hours and hours to cook. So I might actually just talk about how I made it and then show you the results. What about that? We might do that too. So we might have two desserts for our celebration dinner. Are you ready for this, Chris? Are you waiting for it? Are you ready for it?
It's not fair because you get to eat it and we get to drool.
Well, actually, it is in a way, it's fattening stuff. So I have to watch what I'm doing. The one dessert I might make, I'm not promising I can keep in an airtight tin. Some of you might be thinking that you know what it is, and maybe you're right, and maybe you're not. But it does involve chocolate a little bit, and it does involve, see, I've got you now, and it does involve whipped cream. And maybe also in the whipped cream, I might just put some ground almonds or not. Oh gosh. See, I don't understand. Why are you all so interested in coming with me into my kitchen? Well, because it's me, right? And because we have fun and because I show you how to make delicious, delicious things. And that's what we're going to be doing on Sunday at 12 noon. And then on Monday, we're having our Motivational Monday. You can go to the website. I'm done describing all of this to all of you. If you want to know more, go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com. Or if you want to know more about the books or about the things that we have, I think Chris did mention, what was it, Chris?
The square
something about the
site.
square. If you want that information or you want to know more, please write to Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com, and she'll send you all that information. She's so quick fire at this, you'll probably have it returned to you within seconds of sending the email. She'll be right back at you. Give her a couple of days though, because it might take that as well. So I don't want to put pressure on her. So we shall be back. Watch for us maybe later on today or something, for our off the cuff stuff. And who knows what we're going to be talking about then. And you'll get another opportunity to ask questions or to make comments or just bring a drink with you. Why don't you? Let's just hang out for the evening. Let's do that. Do you want to come into my living room for the evening and hang out with me? Because that's what we'll be doing. So, okay, I think that's it. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been fun. Um, I would like to especially say thank you to Chris, because she's always there and always ready and so smart with what she's doing. I would especially like to say also thank you to Great Eagle, and especially to all of you. Please join me again until I see you all again. You never know when that's going to be. Until I see you all again, please, all of you out there, have a very blessed rest of the day. And if I don't see you before, have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Bye bye.